Well, hello and welcome back to the podcast. This is your host, Rhonda Nelson, and I have a little bit of an update for you today, but I've got some info for you that many of you may not know about, and it has to do with your marketing for your practice. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with me. It's a resource that you are going to want to bookmark online and use this as a tool or a way for you to be able to better answer your patients' questions, send out emails, etc. So for those of you that are listening that are inside Clinical Academy, you know that we have recently added as part of our Clinical Academy membership 2 emails that we're giving you for free every single month that you can write, edit slightly, add links, whatever you want to do. But they're basic emails around a certain theme or a topic that you can send out to your patients. Now, if you're like me, copywriting is something I can do, but I hate to do. I don't like it. I'm probably fairly good at it. I would say I'm fairly good at it, but I don't love it. And so when I have to sit down and write copy, write a blog or, I don't love it. I'd rather be doing something else. It's not that I can't, it's just that I don't love it. And maybe the same for you. Unless you had a minor in journalism or you just have a natural proclivity for writing and journaling and all the things, then you might be just like me where, writing emails makes you want to stick a tongue depressor down your throat and gag because no, thank you. So what I want to do is give you a tool today on this podcast that's going to help you be able to find the answers about what people are looking for that has to do with your niche so that you can write those emails in a way that speaks to them, where you're not just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall. Sometimes we do that. We think, oh, well, I think they might want to know this or that, right? Oh, yeah, it must be, I'll write an email about blah, blah, blah. And they don't care. So let's find out what they care about, and then we can start to create content, whether that's online. So if you have a social media presence, you can use this tool that way. You can write emails with it. You can create blog posts. You can hire someone to write blog posts for you. Upwork is a great place to look for those types of people. But if you already know or have a really good idea of the type of person that you want to serve, and even better, if that ideal person comes with a condition. And I don't like to talk about people like they're not a person, right? I want to say, they're a human first, and then they have a thing going on second. So let's say it's Hashimoto's, which is what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to tell you about this tool, and then I'm going to show you about what kind of results come up. And it allows you, if let's say Hashimoto's is your jam, it will allow you to be able to create content that's very specific for what people are asking about. So does that sound good? All right, let's go. So the tool that I want to share with you today is called answerthepublic.com. Answerthepublic.com. It's designed and developed by someone named Neil Patel. And this is kind of his baby that he has put together, and it's pretty dang amazing. Now, you can have a paid account or a free account. So I would recommend the free account. With the free account, there are some, of course, that you're never going to get all the suite of options. However, you can do 3 searches a month. Okay, 3 a month. So be strategic and intentional with your searches. Now, after playing with Answer the Public for quite some time, what I have found is the easiest way to get great results is to keep your search term short. So I'm going to tell you now how this works. Answer the Public basically collects all the data from Google, and Google's the largest search engine in the world, takes all the data of all the people that have ever searched on Google about a thing. So you could put in, postage stamps, or you could put in plastic straws, or you could, whatever you want to put in, and it assembles all of that information together. And then what Answer the Public has done is take all of that information and then basically dial it down for you in a way that helps you see what people are asking, so that it'll make a little bit more sense. You know how when you go on a search engine, you type your search in the bar, right? I'm searching for how to heal Hashimoto's. Okay, let's just say I'm a patient, that's what I'm searching for. You know how when you start to type, how it'll kind of pre-fill that and it'll give you suggestions? Well, the reason I don't like those is because I know that these search platforms are shaping the direction that I'm searching by those prompts, and that makes me mad. That makes me cranky. So I usually just already know what I'm going to search for, and I just type in my words. But after you get the first few results on a Google search, if you look, there's always going to be the next section, and it's going to say, this is important, it's going to say, people also searched for, or something to that effect. And then you know how it just gives you that like list of 4 or 5 additional things, and you can click on the arrow and it'll open up, and then it'll give you those other things that they searched for and a related answer. Here's the thing, Google wants you to stay on their platform as long as they can, and basically that's clickbait. They're just saying, well, people also asked about Hashimoto's. Does Hashimoto's, go with gluten sensitivity? Or is there a relationship between Hashimoto's and lupus? Or, where is the country that Hashimoto's is most commonly found in? You never know what people are searching for, right? And in that section, people also search for section, you literally can keep clicking and opening those up and reading the next answer, the next answer, the next answer, and Google will never run out of suggestions for you. It's just amazing. That's how they know what you're interested in. So when you use something like Answer the Public, it basically takes all of that information and puts it into one place. So this is just a one-stop shop that's going to make it so easy for you to find what it is that your patients are looking for. So let's say that you live in the Northeast, where maybe Lyme, tick-borne illnesses are more common. Then Answer the Public is going to be a great place for you to go to find out what are people searching for. Maybe you live in the South in a real humid area, and so mold is a concern. So you may use Answer the Public to find out what are people searching for about mold. So now let's just take, I'm using Hashimoto's, but let me switch this up for a second. I'm going to say mold. And the reason is because it's a good example. If it's mold that you're thinking about, you're like, oh, I'm really good with mold, and you live in the South, there's a lot of people in your community, your state, that don't know about you. So what if you went and you started to create articles or information or resources about mold, and you started sharing them on Facebook or Instagram or via email or at a local talk? Now you're doing it in a way using the resource of Answer the Public. You're speaking to them, answering the question that they've already asked, but they didn't ask you, but magically you show up and you have the answer. And this is brilliant. They think, oh my gosh, this person's amazing, brilliant. So that's how you can kind of customize it to your area to get people to be a little bit more aware of what you do. I talked to a doctor this past week, and he said to me, it was on a coaching call, and he said to me, he goes, well, everybody knows me as the digestion doc. I thought, well, fair. Like if that's how you branded yourself, great. Then you would use Answer the Public to type in maybe bloating or SIBO or heartburn. Remember, you only get 3 searches per month on the free version. So just be strategic about what you're going to search for. But let me tell you what, the information that you're going to get is going to take you months to work through just from one search. So now I have the Hashimoto's up. If you're listening to this on your streaming platform like Apple or Spotify or somewhere, you're not seeing my screen. But I do have my screen up, and I'm going to just kind of walk you through what a search for Hashimoto's look like. So I first started with help with Hashimoto's, and I got 0 results. I thought, okay, that's because there's too many words. So then I said, heal Hashimoto's. Again, I got about 20 results. And then just all I did was the search term I put in was Hashimoto's. That's it. Now I have 39 questions that people are asking, 46 prepositions that people are using. I'll tell you about that in a second. 41 comparisons like Hashimoto's versus blank, 330 alphabetical listings, and 15 related searches. So as I said, there is literally no way I could get through all of this. So I'm going to give you a few of the things that are coming up. The search volume for this term is 90,500 searches. So people are asking about Hashimoto's. So there's things like, how does Hashimoto's affect the body? That's one of the things that somebody was searching for. Somebody else was asking, what does Hashimoto's do to your body? One of the questions was, can Hashimoto's cause cancer? Interesting. There were 320 searches for that one. And somebody's running ads to that. I can see that on here as well. Does Hashimoto's cause cancer? Can Hashimoto's cause high cholesterol? Can Hashimoto's cause hives? Do you see how people are asking? They're saying, hey, I have Hashimoto's, but do you think this other symptom might be related to my Hashimoto's? This is the kinds of things that they're searching for. Another one that I actually really loved is, can Hashimoto's be reversed with diet? So now I know there's a section of people out there that they're problem aware. They know they have Hashimoto's. They say, can this be reversed? And can it be done with diet? What a great way to go out and put information out there about what you do. Can Hashimoto's cause weight gain? That's another one. So these are the questions that people are answering. Now, the next one are prepositions. And these prepositions are things like, can, for, is, near to, with, etc. But here are some of the things that come up in the section about prepositions. Can Hashimoto's cause a positive ANA test? So can Hashimoto's cause, here's cholesterol again. One of them says Hashimoto's for dummies. I'm like, oh, baby, I'm sorry. You're not a dummy. There's no dumb questions. One of them is Hashimoto's genetic? Is it hereditary, in other words? There's so much good information. Then we get to the comparisons, and this one's fascinating. Lots of searches for this. Hashimoto's and gluten. You're not surprised about that one, right? Hashimoto's and Graves, Hashimoto's and pregnancy. And somebody's paying ad spend for this. Hashimoto's and eye floaters. Interesting. Hashimoto's and lupus. Hashimoto's and PCOS. Hashimoto's and flu-like symptoms. It goes on and on and on and on. Then there's a bunch of alphabetical listings like Hashimoto's cookbook and Hashimoto's breakfast. And so I kind of skip over the alphabetical listings because it's just too much. But these are the related terms to Hashi's that I liked. And some people were just asking about searching for symptoms. 40,000 people searched for what are Hashimoto's thyroiditis symptoms. And what is Hashimoto's hypothyroid? That's somebody who just got a diagnosis and they don't have a clue. They're like, what? Their doctor says, oh, you're going to have to be on thyroid medication for the rest of your life. And the patient just go home. And what do? They're going to go online and start searching. They're looking for Hashimoto's treatment. They're looking at Hashimoto's thyroiditis. That's a term that gets tossed around, right? What's the best Hashimoto's diet? What is the Hashimoto's rash? That can be something that somebody's really concerned about. And then Hashimoto's versus Graves' disease. And does Hashimoto's cause Graves' disease? So you can see sometimes there's just confusion and misinformation in the public. But this is where you come in because you pick your specialty. What is the one word thing? Maybe it's pregnancy. Maybe it's mold. Maybe it's Lyme. Maybe it's bloating. Maybe it's heartburn. Maybe it's PCOS. Maybe it's menopause. Maybe it's hot flashes, even to be more specific. So if you type in answerthepublic.com, we type in hot flashes. Oh, friend, you are going to get so much amazing information that's going to help to form the type of answers, content, and conversation that you have with patients, whether you meet them online or whether you meet them in the community or they're, your existing patients, and you can just strike up conversation with them. But sometimes, we get in our own little bubble, right? We get in our little clinical bubble. And our bubble is, well, I know the patient's coming in. You have Hashimoto's. All right, great. You're feeling better. Awesome. You're still a little bit bloated. All right, let's tweak your protocol here. We're going to deal a little bit more with gallbladder. I'm going to give you some more digestive support. And now we're going to start on some autoimmune work, or we're going to start stealth pathogen work, or whatever it might be. We're going to go after Epstein-Barr, whatever it might be. You're already in your lane, and you need to be in your lane. I'm not knocking your lane. Your lane as a clinician is a beautiful thing. It's how your brain is wired. I love it. But we aren't in their heads. And that's part of the problem, is that you're speaking out of what you need to do in your lane to help them get better. But how many unanswered questions does the patient have that they're relying on Google? So during your consult, during those patient appointments, make sure that you allow for time. Do you have any questions about Hashimoto's? Do you have any questions about mold? Is there something that's come up over the past week? What kinds of things are you searching for online? That's a great question to ask, right? What are you searching for online that I can help you with? It positions you as the authority and the expert about your subject, your niche. The patient leaves feeling very heard, very seen, very validated, And they feel like you've come to them with this helpful solution besides just working on their protocol and helping them to feel better. So it's important that we understand what's happening in the noise out beside us, what's happening out there in the mind of the patient. And that's what answerthepublic.com as a tool for you will help you kind of get into bed with them, so to speak. You're going to crawl into bed and get in their head. You're going to listen to the chatter that's happening in their brain at night and go, oh, I didn't never think that you might be worried about that. But that's the kind of information that you're going to find on answerthepublic.com. So I will link it in the show notes. You have it. Answerthepublic.com. Super easy. Remember, there's 3 searches that you can do on the free version per month, and that's all you need. If you were like an SEO company and you were a professional, blog writer or something, then I would definitely recommend the paid version. I don't have the paid version. I don't need it. I can do one search, and that's enough food for me to chew on for a very long time. So I'll link it in the show notes. And if you ever need help with clinical protocols, clinical things, I would love to have you join me inside Clinical Academy. That's where you need to be. I'm going to teach you all of the shortcuts, all of the amazing little cheats that you need to know when you're working with all kinds of patients from, in fact, we just are about to release at the time of this podcast, a dental health lesson, courtesy of our very own Dr. Christy Pryor. But we've got dental lessons and cardiovascular lessons and things on female hormones and male hormones and pregnancy and children and, oh my gosh, the little sleep, all the things, stress, adrenals, all the things that you need to know as a practitioner. And it's all in there as shortcuts, things that will save you time, save you money, and help you get the patient better fast. To join Clinical Academy, all you have to do is go to rondanelson.com/Clinical Academy. And I will again link it in the show notes. But don't forget, answerthepublic.com. I would love to hear how you're using this to improve your practice and market to your people. Write those emails. That's how I started the show, is to think about what are the topics that you would maybe want to include in an email. Answerthepublic.com is a great way for you to get ideas about the questions that your ideal patients are asking that you aren't listening for because you're in your lane being a practitioner. So this is going to help broaden your field of vision, as it were, with your patients and help you be able to serve them even better. So thanks for listening. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll be back next week on the Clinical Entrepreneur Podcast. Take care. Bye for now.